Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here. And in today's video, I am joined by Dan from Crypto Capital Venture, a YouTube channel here on the interwebs that has a lot of crossover between our audience. Dan, how are you doing, my friend? It's good to finally meet you.
I'm doing awesome, man. I appreciate you having me on. Was just
Absolutely.
chatting with you. You're pushing through this sickness. Thanks for pushing through. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate you. I've been looking forward to meeting you, man. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy to be here. Grateful to be here.
Awesome, man. I am so looking forward to this. This is the first interview I've done in a few weeks, and I'm really excited because we have, as I said, a lot of crossover between our audience. I know you do a lot with technical analysis. You're also a believer, and I greatly respect that. And I think that there's a lot that our audience can learn from getting to know you a little bit and getting to know your story. So just for everybody who's watching, the way that we like to run these is I like to interview our guest and then kind of get an idea of their backstory, how they got to where they are in cryptocurrency right now. And then maybe we can have some kind of discussion about the state of cryptocurrency right now. Does that sound good?
Absolutely. I like it.
Awesome. Well, let me ask you the first question here. Where did you first hear the word Bitcoin?
Hmm. That's a good question. I don't even know if I have an answer to that one. I remember, I vaguely remember a moment being somewhere and I heard Bitcoin. I think it was maybe an article or something. And it was, man, maybe like 2013, 14 or something. And in my mind, I was one of those people that was just kind of like, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
like this, this is nothing. What, like people are buying this? I was one of those people when I first heard about it. I think a lot of people were. And like, especially if you're a content creator, it's probably not the most glamorous thing to admit to. You know, you want to be the one that's just like, yo, I was here in 2010, 2011. I was accumulating. That wasn't me at all. I was doing my own thing as an entrepreneur, and I saw Bitcoin. I'm just like, that doesn't make sense to me. That's and I don't remember the exact year, the exact moment. I just vaguely remember that was my first like mental interaction with Bitcoin. It was very dismissive, I
No,
guess you could say.
it's funny because I have a very clear, and this is my next question, but I have a very clear memory of when I first got into cryptocurrency. But I'm like you, I actually don't remember the first time I heard the word Bitcoin because I think that's something that speaks very deeply to the state of Bitcoin is that you kind of got to go and spread the word and like the good news of crypto quite a bit before somebody finally hears it because we need to remember that in our friends and family they're going to hear Bitcoin a lot and that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to jump right into it just because we think that it's very valuable. I remember the first time I heard about it was probably in 2013 2014 somewhere around there. I remember reading an article of this police officer who's getting paid in Bitcoin, and I'm in 2013 I'm 13 years old, so I'm like, you know, all teenagers nowadays they all like get into news and politics when they turn that age. So I was like getting all into politics and everything, and I saw that and I'm like, why the hell would you do? What is that? Is he getting paid to like some gaming coin? Like what is
Mhm.
that? And I had no clue what it was. But yeah, my next question for you is this because this is something that I think I want to point out the difference in for different people is uh, how did you actually get into crypto then? If the first time you heard it, you didn't just go head in like maybe some people have.
Yeah, so 2017 is when I got heavy into crypto. Um, I think I might have, if I remember correctly, and I was just looking back trying to find some notes. I vaguely remember buying some Bitcoin like 2016. I think it was maybe 300 some bucks or something. It went to 1,000 maybe. And I quickly sold it, and I was kind of like, okay, but I still was kind of like, what is this? I really wasn't. I didn't get deep into it until 2017. And what had happened was I was running a recruiting firm and heavily recruiting for fintech startups, things of that nature. And my business partner at the time, I no longer have a business partner, but at the time he was kind of like, what do you think about recruiting for crypto startups? Like the space is popping, it's growing. And so simultaneously, we've kind of pivoted into recruiting for crypto startups
Hmm.
and buying crypto. And then I started understanding about crypto because of all of that coming together. And the first bit of crypto success for me was just, buying crypto 2017, getting that run up, towards the end of 2017 into 2018. It's like, wow, that was awesome. And, that's kind of the quick explanation of my story and how I got into it. It was very much, it kind of extended from my recruiting firm that I run.
Did you hold any of that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency during that run up?
Oh
Because
yeah, absolutely.
you still have some back from 27. You still have some 2017 Bitcoin.
Well, you could say the accumulation that I did and the holding, because when we hit that bull market high, I basically started my YouTube channel.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's around the
so,
same time I started mine. Yeah,
okay, so the foundation of your YouTube channel is the same as
November
mine.
16th of 2017. Yeah, right before
Okay.
the. Yeah, no, you know that I started, or you know this from your perspective. Started the YouTube channel. Okay, great, bear market. Now we just got to kind of grind for the next year.
But it's literally the best thing that could have happened to us.
Absolutely, completely agree.
And I wasn't sitting there selling. Like I was doing videos every day. I was sitting there at first trying to figure out, all right, is this going to keep going, or is the bull market over? But then it was just a game plan of just buy as much as you can. And I didn't buy, I bought the bottom, but I also bought halfway to the bottom. You know what I mean? I just kept buying all through that entire thing. So I wasn't really one that was selling the bull market high at all. And then, from there, it's just been pivoting, swapping out of this coin, swapping out of Bitcoin, getting into this one, and just like accumulating in that sense. And that's all it's been for me.
Well, give us a little bit of that perspective on, because you're an entrepreneur and I've run a business as well. And I think that there's a lot that people can gain from an entrepreneur's perspective in crypto, because would you agree that investing in cryptocurrency is entrepreneurship? That is a form of it, right?
100%. I always say the best analogy I have is really, because I work in the startup space, right? We literally help startups. Maybe it's a pre-seed, maybe it's a series A,
Right.
maybe it's post-acquisition. We help them grow their teams. And so like we see the side of it, of the investor side of it, the VC side of it. And I always just say crypto is literally giving the everyday person an opportunity to be like a mini VC.
Yep.
Like you can get in these projects before they could have like 1,000 followers on Twitter. Like they're not even really live yet. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you can take a chance like a VC would of a startup. It's like we're able to be mini venture capitalists.
That is such a good point. That's such a good point, because the best returns that you will find in traditional markets outside of cryptocurrency and, little things here and there is VC funding. It is doing venture cap. Obviously, I'm not a VC, but there are a lot of these VCs that they are, and you know this better than I do, they are hawks. They want 10% in 7 years. They want money, and they want proof, and they want backing, and there's a lot of money in it. And that's closed off to the rest of the world. We only get to be able to invest in stocks after they've gone public. And they've already had most of their percentage gains because it all happened before the IPO. But in crypto, that's different. So that's a really good point, that you're able to bring that decentralized to the rest of the world.
Yeah. And there's a lot of differences. It's not like I'm saying, hey, you bought this brand new altcoin, you're a VC, you're a venture capitalist, but it's just the sense of it. You know what I mean? There's so many similarities to it. And on top of that, when I'm watching these startups and we're grinding, we're trying to build that foundational team, engineers, marketing department, all of this, it takes a while, right? There's a lot of ups and downs, and the company's not even at revenue yet. They're not at profit yet. The VCs are standing there not making anything yet. And there's patience there, right? There's the macro sense, like from a VC perspective, why am I invested in this startup? You know what I mean? And I think if the common everyday retail investor of crypto can adopt that mindset, like zoom out a little bit, wait a second, just wait a little bit. You don't need 1,000% gains in 2 months. There's so much more success to be found there than just playing that kind of the gambling, the luck game, trying to hit it big right off the bat,
I think you're absolutely right, because, well, I know you're absolutely right. I think a lot of people try and play cryptocurrency as if it's a slot machine, but really you should be playing it as if you are a VC. And just because you bought 10 Cardano doesn't mean that you get to go put venture capitalist on your LinkedIn, or, just because, but tell me that, what are some other lessons that you think that, because you have a very unique perspective in crypto, right? There's not a lot of people that are running crypto YouTube channels that also work in the VC space. What are some other things that maybe our audience could learn from you about how they should interact in the crypto space that you've learned from your experience with entrepreneurship and venture capitalism?
I think the thing I just mentioned is the biggest.
Yeah,
Having some patience, because
absolutely.
we are exposed to VCs and stuff, but more so we're exposed to the projects, right? The leadership teams of these altcoin projects and stuff. And they're building. Do you know what I mean? Like, and when you're building the fundamentals of a company and a technology, it takes time. And there is a connection between the growth of a company and the fundamentals and the platform, whatever it is, and price. There is, you know what I mean? And if you can kind of wait through that growth and grow with it, I think that's the way to approach crypto. And I realize there are so many people in crypto that have no interest in that. Like, they don't want to play the long game, and me saying that, they're probably just like, they could be clicking out of this video right now. But that's just my approach. And the reason that is because I used to be the person that was looking for those quick gains, and we're going back to like stock market stuff, penny stocks. I was like big into that. And we're going back like a good amount of time. I'm not your age right now, Jebb. I'm not, what are you, 22 right now?
I'm 21.
Oh, you're 21. So I'm 37. So, I'm going back to my early 20s when I was kind of like, all right, penny stocks, and I was seeing quick gains, but then I was seeing quick losses. I was just gambling, and I had no concept of like, patience and actual investment plan. Same with real estate. I got wrecked in 2018. It was going well. I was scooping up properties and stuff, but the real estate game, I kind of bought the top, and I wasn't patient enough to stick around with it, and those are the learning experiences that I take with me today in crypto, a very volatile market, as you know, and I apply that, and I'm very conservative, like with my approach to crypto.
I think that's really important because there's two things there. One, you need an approach to crypto. If you're watching this and you don't have a guiding philosophy that you're attaching everything to, I think it's a very good idea to construct that. Are you more conservative? Are you more aggressive? Are you somebody who's very much a trader, or do you consider yourself more of an investor? It's very important that you answer yourself those questions. And then on top of that, the other thing that we can learn from that is there is a lot of wisdom in drawing lessons from other areas of life. Our audience tends to be between about 35 and 44. So we actually have some people that are in your demographic and quite a bit older than me, that have a lot more life experience than I do. And you guys can draw on all kinds of things. You can draw on your experience in real estate. You can draw on your experience with VC. For example, venture capitalists, they'll invest in a VC firm will invest in 100 companies, and they know 90% of them are going to go belly up, but the ones that do actually work out are going to make them $100 million. So we can look at crypto the same way. So there's a lot of different lessons that we can take from all of that. So that's really cool. Well, let me ask you this. This video is going to be going out on Saturday for all of you guys watching this. We recorded this on the previous Monday. What do you think about let's get a little more topical. What do you think about the drop that we saw in Bitcoin down to $43,000? Do you think that, this is something that people should be worried about? Is this the beginning of something bigger, like a bear market?
Yeah, I talked about it in a video the other day, like my last Bitcoin video. What makes it tough is even if we're entering a bear market, I don't even worry. Like, I don't even care.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to be like, oh, everybody, like, you know what I mean? From that angle. But in the video, I basically talked about, I actually don't think we're entering a bear market right now. I still think we're in the bull market. And if you just look at the Bitcoin charts, I mean, the last bull market was very parabolic comparative to this bull market. Yeah, both of them. And so this one's it's a different beast. And I think that's a kind of an exciting thing, because from a technical analysis perspective, a lot of times we take historical data and we always see these perfect consistencies, and it's not exactly there on the Bitcoin charts. But a big thing for me is I'm looking at things like the 20-week moving average on Bitcoin right now, what that's doing. So I kind of want to give that a couple more weeks to see how Bitcoin interacts with it, amongst some other things. But I really don't think with how Bitcoin has, bounced off of a macro 1618, which I've talked a lot about on my channel, bounced off that recently. I forget exactly when, but I just think it's in a continued uptrend, and the consolidation is just like something we've come to know and expect, these dips. And I'm not worried at all.
Do you think we're moving into, because I completely agree. I don't think a bear market is starting. If it was, I think we would. I don't think, the funny thing about when a bear market is starting, everybody asks, is a bear market starting? And if the answer is not yes, and it's a no or a maybe, then it's not starting. If a bear market start, you know it. Like it normally it's pretty clear within a week or two if a bear market's actually starting. I don't think one's starting. But let me ask you this, that we're obviously in the third major bull market of Bitcoin's history. And the way the stock market moves is it just kind of goes straight up.
Mhm.
Do you think that we're going to enter a period, and do you think we're entering this period now where we're going to see Bitcoin, instead of going through these massive bull market, bear market cycles, where it's going to kind of level out, and we're going to see, instead of, parabolic, we'll see an inverse parabola, and Bitcoin will start like topping out and then trading sideways for, a decade, like it did in the 2000s or in the 60s and 70s, and then it'll keep going up. What kind of market structure do you foresee in the next several decades?
That's a great question, man. And that's like really, that's looking ahead, right? I
Yeah.
think,
It's as the market matures. Like, what is the market going to mature into? Because I think these massive rallies are very immature movements of a nascent market. And
yeah.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on this too. I don't think we're ever going to see an 85% drop again, like we saw in the last two bear markets. I don't think that that's reasonable with all the development going on here.
Yeah. So, I mean, what would an 80% drop be for Bitcoin? Like from all-time highs? Do you have a chart up? I
It'd
don't even have a
be
chart up.
$14,000. It went to
14,000.
70,000, so it'd be just under 14. It'd be, it'd be at the rally of 13,900 in 2020, in 2019. It'd be that
See,
level.
like, so from where Bitcoin is right now, in my head, I am kind of like, I could see it going to 15, 20 grand. I really could.
Really?
Yeah. I think, these days we're still so early, but speaking to what you were saying, I think if you're looking 5, 10, 20, 30 years, I think Bitcoin's definitely going to continue or begin leveling out. But I still think we're in crazy volatile times, and
Absolutely.
a $10,000 move for Bitcoin in a day is nothing, So for us to get to $20,000 Bitcoin, it could happen in a week, where we wake up, the headlines are going crazy, and people are just like in a daze saying, what just happened? I think we're still in those days. So, and those are the scenarios I always wait for, whether they happen or not. I just like to be prepared for those crazy volatile times when everybody's freaking out, because I'll just be there. I'll be like, I've literally thought about this every day, and I'm ready.
Yep.
That's my whole approach. I think, doing videos every day in the bear market probably thickened my
Same
skin
here.
in that sense.
This is off topic, but let me ask you, do you remember that time during, like, what would it be, September, October, November of 2018, where Bitcoin was doing absolutely nothing? Like, it traded it was within like a 4% range. If you look at the chart, you'll know what I'm talking. It's right before the 50% drop down to 3K. Like, it was sitting right there at 6,000 to 6,200. What did you make videos on during that? I have no idea. I made a video every single day back then. I have no clue what I talked about.
That's a great question.
There was nothing going on.
And I don't even think I want to look, because I kind of cringe watching my old videos.
Me too, man. Me too.
But yeah, I'm looking at a chart now. So you're what month are you talking about back then?
It was right before the drop below 6,000. I can't close my screen or I'll mess up the recording, but it was right before the drop to below 6,000, because we dropped in the beginning of, I want to say, December of 2018. And then there's like that 3-month period, because August, there's that last jump in like late August, I think. I'm all going by memory here, but I think it was September, October, November.
After the bull market high. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So it was after 20K. It was after 20K.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chart. That's ugly looking too.
That's ugly looking. It's just straight sideways.
I don't know. I have a feeling I was probably like, all right, we could bounce here, continue. I was covering a lot of Litecoin in those days as well.
Oh,
so,
yeah. No, Litecoin
yeah.
was my first purchase. The first thing I ever bought was actually Litecoin. It wasn't Bitcoin.
Yep. That was my first big one, man. Litecoin.
Was it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yep,
No, I bought
too.
a quarter of a Litecoin when it was at $41.02 in August of 2017.
And it had a nice run, you know,
Yeah.
it did towards the end of the
You
year.
think you think it'll ever get back to 430 or whatever the all-time high is?
It'll definitely get back there. I pivoted out for multiple reasons because I was big into Litecoin, but I eventually pivoted out because I just was looking at the charts and I was not feeling it. I just didn't
Yeah.
think it was going to be a top performer. And I hope for the best because there's a lot of cool people in Litecoin that I know. And, you know, I think it's one of those coins that'll wake up and it'll destroy $1,000. It'll destroy $2,000 one day. I just don't know when it's going to be.
That's interesting. I'd be very interested to see it destroy $1,000 or $2,000. Yeah, it's one of those cryptocurrencies, one of those projects that it kind of got left behind because the DeFi space grew so quickly and Litecoin doesn't have a lot differentiating it. Now they're doing different
Mhm.
updates. So I'll be honest with you, I haven't followed it that much in the last couple of years, but it's it's very interesting. The Litecoin is a case study in value proposition is what it is. You got to have a very clear value prop for that. Well, let me ask you one final question here because I want to be respectful of your time, but we've already been going for half an hour. Wow.
Man,
Let me ask you this. What is the one thing that you would tell somebody who is new to the cryptocurrency space? I ask every single one of my guests this. They've been in the space for less than 3 months. What is the one piece of advice that in your crypto wisdom you would give them?
I mean, I would just say, and that's the thing. I'm giving advice is scary, but
Yeah.
the one thing I would say is accumulate the dips and just don't spend money, don't invest money. And it's the typical stuff. Don't invest money that you can't afford to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like don't go mortgage your house and refinance your house just so that you can buy crypto. And along that line is just when it's fearful, when it's the ugliest, when there's the most negativity, and this isn't a guarantee, but it's usually when you want to be buying, you know, and I'm thinking of Cardano right now. Cardano's getting killed,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
is.
on the short term,
I didn't even
but
get to ask you about Cardano. I'm sorry.
no, hey, it's cool. It's all good. But I'm thinking about it because it's down like 65%
Yep.
and the negativity is ridiculous. But
I'm thinking about buying some.
oh yeah, I mean the opportunity zone has opened, you know,
Mhm.
and those are the times, right? There's no guarantee. Maybe it goes down another 20%, right?
Yeah.
But those are the times where you're going to have the most potential upside. Not when you don't want to buy the hype. You don't want to, you know, that fear of missing out feeling. If you have that, it's probably not a good time to buy.
You know what's funny? I've done a lot. I've spoken with a lot of people in YouTube now and in crypto YouTube now, and I ask that same question every single time, and I almost always get some variety of the same answer. And
Yeah.
that really just goes to show you, the viewer, how simple this really is. Making a lot of money in crypto is not complicated. Like if I ever make it look complicated, which I do, I try not to, but I tend to. It's technical analysis. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard not to, but it's actually not that complicated. It's buy, hold, buy the dips, take your profits, use your stop losses. It's not that complicated. And that's why I love the interview that we just had here, Dan, because I think people have got some great insight. Well, where can people find you on YouTube? I know it's a Crypto Capital Venture, but where can they find you elsewhere?
Twitter. You can probably find me on Twitter if you just search Crypto Capital Venture. Crypto Recruiter is my handle. So
Yeah.
those are pretty much the two platforms I'm on.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, we will have all of those links down below, guys. Make sure to go follow him on Twitter and go make sure to subscribe to him on YouTube. He's growing quick on YouTube and for good reason. He's got some great content over there, especially for Cardano. We didn't get to dive into Cardano too much here today, but I want to talk to him a little bit more about Cardano because I am loving Cardano and I'm looking for a buying opportunity down here on the dip. Dan, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the channel. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.